Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Wisdom of Essential Oils. I'm Leonie Featherstone, and it's my pleasure to be here with you this morning. Wow, how's your morning going? Let me know where you're from and how your day is getting off to a start. I hope it's a good one. We've had some fun and games here this morning. Technology and I are not always on the best of terms, and I have a wonderful guest hoping to join us this morning, but we've been having lots of technology issues. Hi, Cassandra. How are you today? So, yeah, pop in, say hello, let me know where you're from, what's going on in your world, and how you're feeling. Today's topic we're going to be addressing is sense of compassion. Hello, Sophia. How are you? All my lovely friends popping on here to say hello. So, yeah, I've got the lovely Nicole Farrington joining us if she can get her technology working. We were on earlier, but as it happens, things go wrong from time to time. And I was just actually thinking that today's topic is sense of compassion, and right now I'm not feeling very compassionate towards technology, so I probably need to change my thinking a little bit. But for those of you who don't know me, why am I here on the Spiritual Events Network talking about essential oils? Well, they are the most amazing gift that nature gives us to help us with our holistic healing. And I'm a great believer that in order for us to function at our optimal, holistically, we need to look at healing our physical needs and our healing our heart, and then that enables us to then go on and be able to move into that space of healing ourselves spiritually. And guess what? My lovely Nicole is back. Hello, Nicole. Welcome.
Hello, Leonie.
I was just explaining to our listeners here that we were having fun and games with technology, and today's topic is compassion, and I'm not feeling very compassionate towards technology right now.
But absolutely not.
Guess what? I've got some oils here that I've been snorting and really trying to calm myself in this situation. So they work wonders. So, guys, let me introduce Nicole to you. Nicole and I met probably about just under a year ago.
Yes.
Yeah. And Nicole lives in the lovely seaside area of Yeppoon in central Queensland. And if you haven't been to Yeppoon, you really must go. It is just a gorgeous little village, isn't it, Nicole?
Oh, it's lovely and quiet and mellow. It's wonderful.
Yes. It's that seaside without all the commercialisation.
Yes, all the hustle and bustle.
That's it. And we don't want hustle and bustle. We want free flow. We want calm. And so, Nicole, I thought rather than me introduce you, because I talk about the wisdom of essential oils and how they're so important as part of a holistic healing process. And I love tapping into wisdom of others. The last couple of weeks, a really big shout out to my friends Magda and Barrett for stepping into this space for me while I went out bush and had some, time with nature and my lovely man and rejuvenating. And they shared a lot of wisdom based on the science behind the essential oils. But tell our friends on here today a little bit about you.
Okay, so I'm a medium and a healer. So it is quite encompassing for me. It's something I've had since I was a child, but didn't really understand what it was. So 10 years ago, I've kind of it's hit me basically what I am and what I can do. Now, for me, it's working with people to help them bring focus back to their life, but joy and clarity. It's about healing their mind, body, and soul. So I'm able to work in a spiritual sense, but also on the physical body to help with those changes. So it just helps align things a bit easier. It allows our body to be more integrated with our soul and our spirit. And for me, it's quite a wonderful thing to be able to do. I'm loving what I'm doing. It's meeting different types of people. And for me, meeting Leonie was a bit of one of those light bulb moments, because for me, using the oils has enabled me to integrate is by activating your sense of smell, which then helps a healing process. It helps align things a little bit differently so that you're able to activate a healing on a whole other level.
Beautiful.
So, yeah.
Yeah, Thanks, Nicole. And actually, that was something I was going to ask you. So
Mm,
thank you for sharing that, because
mm,
I often say to the guys on here that I just am so passionate about these beautiful doTERRA essential oils, because I feel they can
mm,
add so much value to our
mm,
lives. I talk about having a life toolkit, and I have oils in there, but I also tap into the beautiful healing qualities of people like you. And guys, I've had plenty of sessions with Nicole, and it's, yeah, I really urge you. We'll pop Nicole's details up later to
mm,
get in contact with Nicole, because we all need support. When no man is an island, we can't do it on our own.
mm,
And when we can create that sense of community, we've got some amazing people here on the Spiritual Events Directory who offer their tools and talents as well. So I think when we can broaden our net, and tap into those, we can really expedite our healing process. And
mm,
guys, on that note, hi Anna. Yeah, absolutely. Today, what we're going to be doing, I usually draw some oil cards. So if you'd like an oil card, and I'll
mm,
interpret, and Nicole's going to add her wisdom to it
mm.
as well, if that's okay with you, Nicole.
Yes, that's fine.
Yeah. Yeah. So we're gonna have a little chat, and we're going to do some cards for you, and share some wisdom with you. But maybe you could just pop in the chat where you're from. What maybe something that you're dealing with, maybe an emotion that you're dealing with at the moment. Hi, Melissa. Lovely to have you there. Nicole, you may not be able to see the chat because
No.
Nicole's coming to us on her phone, but Melissa's just saying hi to both of us. So thanks,
Hello.
Melissa. Hello. So one of the things I like to do to begin today, though, we've now that we've introduced Nicole and we're all just settling in, is I think that so often, Nicole, we're like just fanging it through life, that we're not really breathing freely, we're not really even thinking. Sometimes we're on autopilot. We've got a lot of programming that's running in the background, and I think in this space, I just like to get everyone to just relax and release. Release whatever it is. Maybe you've got the kids off to school, maybe whatever. But let's just let go of some of that stress. So if you have an essential oil handy, please grab it. And if you don't have any oils, I would love to help you with that. I love connecting with you on a deep level to work out what floats your boat and help you connect with the oils
Mm,
that are going to support you. So with the oils, even if you just take some really deep breaths and then just let it out, and just maybe even bring your shoulders up to your ears and let them go with a bang, so that you're actually just letting go of some of that stress. And what I want you to do, and you may like to close your eyes, I like to share a little story with you to take you back to that calm and centered place within. But what I'm encouraging you to do is resonate with what I'm saying, but maybe relate it to your story. So, for instance, I'm going to take you to my happy place. Have you got a happy place? If you've got a happy place, pop in the chat.
mm,
Where is your happy place? Now, you're probably going to laugh, but come with me on this little journey. So, I have just got out of my car and I look across at the hills. And guys, what I want you to do is I want you to come into your body and I want you to activate your senses. And I'm seeing this beautiful purpley, greeny blue tinge of the hills in the Pioneer Valley. And then I walk across to the cattle yards on our farm. And that, my friends, is my happy place. And as I climb up those railings, I can feel the coolness of the metal under my fingers. And then as I swing my leg over and I'm sitting there, I look at the trees that are lining the riverbank behind the yards, and I can almost hear the wisdom that they're sharing with me. I can hear the wind in those leaves, and I can feel a lot of the tension leaving my body. And then I can smell. My sense of smell is activated, and I can smell one of my favorite smells, which is what I like to call crapola alternifolia. I love the smell of cattle manure. It really takes me back to my childhood. It takes me back to my childhood days of fun and carefree times. And then I look at the weaners that are in the yard, and they're munching on that beautiful hay, and they look happy. And then I feel happy. And I'm listening and I'm feeling and I'm looking and I'm really coming into my body, and I can just feel the joy start to emerge and start to spread out through my body. And I feel relaxed. I feel at peace and I feel joy. So, what is your place of joy? because when I go there, it's like all the stresses just leave my body. All the worries that are not serving me leave me. And so I tend to go to the cattle yards as often as I can. Now, you may not like the smell of crapola or alternifolia, but you may have another smell. Nicole, where's your happy place?
Mine is the beach. I am an ocean person. For me to go down to the beach reminds me of the ebb and flow of life, that things come and go and that we have to adapt to the change, because my beach changes all the time. And it just reminds me that sometimes I just have to let go and I just have to go with it, and that change is a good thing. And for me, it's the wind and the smell, it's just the freshness. It's alive. It's that summer feel.
I hope those of you on here are watching Nicole's face as she talks about that. And what I would like to suggest to you, because you know I have all weird ideas and strategies for you, but I suggest that you stand in front of the mirror when you're thinking about your happy place and just watch your face change. Because when we think about something happy, it's like we light up, like Nicole lit up when she talked about the beach and the ebb and the flow. And when we're in that space, we actually can, I believe, come into a place where we're more able to give compassion, and that is what we're talking about today. And I'm really dying to get Nicole's thoughts on compassion. But yes, Anu, Fiona, I've written you down for cards today. But what I also like to do is I like to pick a card for our session, Nicole. That's what I like to do before I start. And the oil that I've chosen today, just the universe through me chose for us, is the Whisper blend. And Whisper is known as the women's blend. And it's quite interesting because often when we look at the women's blend, it's about softening the masculinity. And so I think sometimes we're in that hard-nosed, probably a bit like I was this morning when I was thinking that the computer wasn't working. I was getting into that Neanderthal sort of state. We need to sort of soften that thinking. And what Whisper can also do for us, guys, is it can just help us to kind of let go of pride, let go of like tough exteriors, maybe let go of some of those hard barriers we put around ourselves. And I think that when we sort of let go of that, we can actually facilitate more connection with others. And Whisper can do so much more than that. But I thought that was lovely. Now, with these cards, Nicole, you won't be familiar with these, but they're a beautiful card because we talk about what the oil just briefly can do. And then we have a centering thought. And so the thought for all of us with our beautiful Whisper blend is, I embrace my feminine energy and I see the beauty in who I am. And again, I think a lot of the reason why we're not maybe sending enough love to others is because we maybe aren't seeing ourselves in a place of love. I know you're going to talk to that. And then we also have an affirmation, and this is really good. And for those of you who maybe haven't been on before, is that when we ask ourselves a question, the computer, our brain is a computer, and whatever you ask it, it'll give us substantiating information because it has stored it all. So if I said, why am I such a klutz for running into the table? It will tell me. It'll just reinforce all those stories that I've parked away there. So what we want to do is ask ourselves questions looking for the positive. So this question with all of us is, why is it so easy for me to embrace my femininity? And if we have any gentlemen on here today, it is not just about women because it's the feminine. It's embracing the feminine in us all. So Whisper can serve all of us. So that's our card for today. Now, Nicole, I'd love for you to just give us your thoughts on what is compassion? What's it all about?
Compassion it's not just about liking yourself, it's about loving yourself. We find it so easy to show compassion to other people and to be understanding of their needs or their circumstances, but we tend to not have as much compassion for ourselves. We kind of feel like we should just toughen up, dig deep, keep going. But until we can include ourselves in compassion, then we're not understanding it properly. We are very judgmental of ourselves. We look back on things in hindsight and say, oh, we should have done that differently. Oh, what a bloody fool I was. But what we're not understanding is that like everybody else, we make decisions that are relevant to us at that moment. So a week or, a few months, or even a couple of days further on, those decisions might be different. But instead of looking back on ourselves and the decisions we've made or the choices, we judge ourselves. We wouldn't necessarily judge other people. We would show them compassion and understanding, and we'd support them. But we don't seem to offer that to ourselves. And that's something that we really need to, especially in light of everything that's going on in the world today, that we need to start to understand. We don't just need to love others, we need to love ourselves first and foremost. And when we do that, we can show ourselves the compassion. It's easier then for us to support other people. And we only want to support them. We don't want to do the work for them. But by being all-encompassing and quite rounded in the fact that we embrace all of who we are showing ourselves the compassion that we need. And especially, and in life, it's about moving forward. And I know you were talking about that, the oil whisper, and it's funny because I happen to have that one. And every time I wear it, I feel like secrets are being whispered to me in my ears. And it's almost like that feminine intuition that we all have, male and female, whereby we listen to our instincts and those gut feelings. And sometimes they mightn't make sense to us. Sometimes other people might go, oh, you're a bloody fool. But by following them and trusting them, that is helping us be who we are. And when we are who we are showing compassion to ourselves because we are allowing the flow.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Yeah, Diane says yes, true. Hey, thank you. Hi, Tony. Hi, Di. Hi, Lyndall. Lovely to have you all on here. I think it's interesting that you started with compassion for self, because so often we think of being compassionate as, being compassionate to someone who's going through a hard time or compassionate to others. But, I'm really glad you brought that up, that we are probably far harsher on ourselves. And I think that, a couple of oils that come to mind there is I think sometimes, we have these patterns that form in us that maybe have been passed on. And I think that if we can go to our fur oils for helping us with letting go of some of that generational baggage that we've carried forward. And if you think about the fur, there's a lovely story about fir trees that at night a lot of the animals will sleep underneath the fir tree, and it's almost like them getting their download of wisdom and energy. And so if you think about that with the fir trees, maybe the fir oils, adding them into your regime, sort of think, well, what is it about my past that I can learn, but also what can I let go of? What is not serving me? Because so often things are passed on. I mean, I love the story, and bear with me, I just think this is funny. The lady who's cutting the ends off her roast before she puts them in the oven, and she cut them off and threw the ends away. And her husband said, why do you do that? And she said, oh, Mum did it. I don't really know. So she rang Mum. Mum, why do you cut the ends off the roast before you roast it? And the mother went, I don't know. That's what your grandmother did. So she rings Grandma. Why did you cut the ends off? And Grandma goes, it didn't fit in the pan. And I just think it's so powerful, because so often we are on this autopilot. We do because that's what we've seen or that's what we've taught, and we haven't stopped to question. And so those patternings are there. So if you grew up in a way that didn't show a lot of compassion to self or to others, that's what we carry forward. And another oil that I want to pop in there is copaiba, or copaiba, if you want to try and be Brazilian, is it helps us to kind of like peel the mask back, peel the layers, go within. A lot of the resin oils, if you think about where an oil comes from in a plant or a tree, that can often be teaching you something. So they come from the heart, the core of the tree. So if we go into our core and start thinking, what are some things that maybe I'm holding on to? Maybe there's some guilt, maybe there's some shame. Let's deal with it and let it go, so we can move forward and then show some more love and compassion. Because I think it's difficult to just pour love on something that hasn't been dealt with. Would you agree?
Mm-hmm. If we can like to cover that up a little bit.
Yeah. So how about hi Jenny, how about we grab a card? Anna, where are you from, Anna? Pop a comment in there from where you're from. And what I'd love to know is how many of you are actually using essential oils with your holistic wellness practices. This would be really interesting to know. I can bring the big guns.
Ah,
Well, not me. I'm a vessel. I am a vessel. Anna, this is for you. I'm just going to scroll back up if I can. Anna Valu. Oh, you're from Ashurst. Where's Ashurst? That's my geography failing me there. Frankincense. You have chosen frankincense. Now, okay, so what do I love about Frankie? He's known as Frankie Boy to his friends. So, Anna, he can be Frankie Boy to you. Frankincense is what we like to call the king of the oils, and he is the oil of truth. When I use frankincense, I feel like I am just being wrapped in a blanket of comfort and truth. And what he's encouraging you to do, Anna, is to let go of any lower kind of vibrations, energies that aren't serving you. Now, sometimes, guys, when these cards come up, it doesn't necessarily mean you. It could be in your arena. So it could be around you. So think of it like that as well. So what frankincense is also doing is actually helping you to connect to the divine. So the divine without and the divine within. And I think, as Nicole said, so often we are not showing compassion to ourselves, but, we are this amazing being. And I believe that we need to do more of that. I like to connect deeper when it comes to these type of cards. So, Anna, if you are open to having a chat, I do offer free oil consultations, and we can go deeper and personalize something more for you. But the centering thought for you, Anna, is I live in integrity in all aspects of my life. And as I said, we think about frankincense as being the oil of truth. I am connected to God. I align with my Creator. And your question, Anna, to ask yourself is, why is it so easy for me to connect to my Creator? Nicole, would you like to add something to that?
well, there's a lot around Anna, a lot of uncertainty, and I think she needs to go into her own intuition and the decisions or what she's looking for the answers for are within herself. And you said the frankincense, I think, will give her the comfort to make a decision that's right for her, because at the moment there's a lot of uncertainty.
Lovely.
And,
Thank you. And Anna, just drop us a comment in there to see if that resonated with you. And again, guys, these are kind of like really mini little surface insights we're giving you. Nicole and I resonate because we're both people, and we love to build deep relationships with our clients, who generally become our friends.
yes.
So it's really important that if you want to explore this, and again, only if you want to, just drop us a note and we can be in contact, and I'll pop Nicole's details up there a little bit later. Nicole, we talked about needing to have that compassion, and you mentioned judgment. We go into judgment. What do you think are some of the other things that are going on that actually stop us from showing? Maybe just let's look externally. What are some of the things that are stopping us from being compassionate to others?
We're too busy. Life is just hectic. We're trying to throw so much into a day that we don't actually get to enjoy it. And I say to a few of my clients, the old saying, we need to stop and smell the roses. We need to look at them as well. We need to really take that moment. And it's too busy, so we're fragmented all the time. So it makes it really hard to make any kind of decisions or have that joy or living your own truth, because we're so disjointed from who we are. Society has a big influence on us. It's had it on our parents and our grandparents. And there's a way that we're expected to behave, a way to act, a career. There's so many expectations that it takes us away from ourselves. So in doing that, we kind of start to lose our compassion for ourselves. And you mentioned before, it is something that's taught through us. But when we can reclaim it, when we can bring it back, simplify our life, we start to see things in a more enlightened way, a more easier way. Things become easier to understand. Flow of life becomes easier. And by doing that, we're actually teaching our children and the friends or the people that are around us how to do those things. So that role where we're actually helping and healing ourselves then almost becomes a little bit of a mirror role in the fact that we're teaching it as well. So, it's not just for ourselves. So, but first of all, the most important thing is that we have to live our own truth and show the compassion and love to ourselves, because then it then filters through to help everybody else. At the moment, the roles are a little bit reversed in society, where we show the compassion to others first.
Yeah, and it's a little bit like I love when you fly, the hostie will always say, put your oxygen mask on first. And we do it. We're very good at that. But then when it comes to real life, we're not so good. It's really interesting you mentioned that about being busy, because I'd actually made a note today thinking about my own sort of insights on this, and I'd written down the power of the pause. And I really believe, guys, that this is where using your senses, and particularly your sense of smell, can really support us, because, as Nicole said, we're so busy. We need to break that state, and aroma can do that. The moment we smell something, it travels up our olfactory bulb, hits the limbic system, which is a storehouse of memory and emotion, and it just triggers the hypothalamus, pituitary gland, control center of the brain, basically. And in a nanosecond, it sends messages out through your body, and it creates change. So I'm really into prevention. So if you find that this is your life and you're on autopilot, and it's, maybe you're a reactor, you react to things, this is where we can work with you and help you to set up practices that will break those states. And you mentioned, with you saying it's too busy and people needing to stop for a while, I had written down balance, because balance, which is a beautiful blend, and Anna, this has frankincense in it. It's our grounding blend. And if you've been on here with me for a while, I just love trees. And in balance, it has quite a few trees: spruce, hoewood, frankincense, and some other oils as well. And what I love is that if you think about, again, the analogy of a tree has its roots going down into the ground. And so it's secure, it's solid. And it's like, to me, it's just saying, just be. And when we can come into our senses, and this is why I love talking about activating your senses, and we'll talk about that a bit more later, because we've got an event on Sunday. But when we can use these strategies and to come into ourselves, not just out there, we can actually be still, we can be, and then we can afford to give out, we can give ourselves that kind of compassion. We can think, and we can offer that to other people as well. So balance is beautiful. The other thing I love about trees, and if you follow with my little analogy, that we've got our feet on the ground, we're not going anywhere, and we've got our arms up to the sky, we're ready to accept. And we're also, what do trees give us? Oxygen. So we're ready to give as well. So let's move on and do another. Fiona is a friend on here for quite a lot of my sessions. Lovely to have you back, Fiona. So let's see what wisdom Nicole and I can offer you today. Okay. Spearmint. Spearmint's one of my naughty oils. When I make fudge, it is just divine. But anyway, Fiona, for you, spearmint. We often talk about spearmint as supporting us when we need to have a conversation or to say something, and to give us a little bit of confidence. So it's going to maybe let go of, maybe there's a conversation you need to have, or maybe you've been asked to do something and you're not feeling so confident about it. Spearmint can support you with that. Now, your centering thought: I am courageous, I have a message, I am fearless, and I am articulate. And your question to ask yourself, Fiona, is, why am I such a confident speaker? So Nicole, do you want to give your take on that?
Yes. No, definitely. I think that will help her, because there is some things that she needs to say. But I think when you're saying things, as long as you're speaking with your own truth, and it has integrity, then it is worthy to come out. It doesn't matter what other people think of what you're saying, whether they like it or not. The fact is that it's your truth that you're speaking, and the spearmint will certainly help loosen that uncertainty of the words at the moment that are floating around. So to have that just to know within yourselves that what you want to say is your own truth gives it the integrity to be spoken.
Yeah, lovely. So Fiona, drop us a note. Let us know how that resonated with you. So what are some other things? Like I was thinking, I think you might have mentioned we don't value ourselves enough.
No.
And so do you have any strategies or, advice for people to work on that side of themselves?
Absolutely. And it's, for me, it's taking those few moments because we are so busy. We're running everywhere. We're keeping everybody else happy. To sometimes just to stop, whether it's to go sit down and have a cup of tea or a cup of coffee, to go for that walk, to allow yourself those moments that mean something to you. They don't have to be expensive moments. They just have to be simple moments where you can take a moment and you can breathe and you can just be. You don't actually have to think. I think that's a starting point. The biggest thing that I know and I say to my clients is when you give this information, I can already hear them going, oh, don't be ridiculous. I don't have. Your children are watching. You're teaching them the same thing. You're teaching them that they don't have any value or worth and that they shouldn't take time for themselves. And it's funny that as a parent, that instantly changes our mindset because that then we kind of go, well, I need to do this now. I don't want my child to be experiencing these things. So, yeah, and it comes back to with the compassion for ourselves, but by doing these small things and taking those times. And if we are tired, just go, oh, I just want to sit down for 5 minutes and shut my eyes, then we should do that. By doing those things, our children are seeing that that's okay. We don't have to keep going at this hectic pace. So we're teaching them to be compassionate to ourselves and to take time when we need it. I know some weekends, you're exhausted, but you think, oh, I've got to keep going. And okay, rightly so, sometimes there are things you still have to do, but there are times where you can have down moments, or whether it is catching up with a girlfriend or having a phone call and being around the people that truly matter, that lift you. And it's not drawing from them to do that lift, it's just being in their company makes you instantly happy. So it's recognizing that, and that is compassion to yourself. It's not a big thing in the sense that it's not hard work. It's just that we don't do it.
No. It's interesting when you said, and guys, I'd love you guys to drop some comments in here about this, but when you mentioned about role modeling, I think that's one of my soapbox issues with parents is to let them know that, we are here to empower. We're here to grow empowered children. That's the way I like to see it. And actually doing everything for them is denying them that opportunity to find their own strength within. And I had a moment, and I think it was when my daughter was probably about, maybe she was 10 or something like that. And I was a sole parent, guys. And, like most sole parents, you're watching every cent. And anyway, ice cream was a bit of a treat. And one night she was about to serve up some ice cream and she said to me, Mum, do you want any ice cream? And I walked past and I saw there was only a little bit there. And I said, no, you and Zach have it. And she stopped and she looked at me and she said, Mum, you're going to have some because you always do that. And I suddenly realised I was role modelling to her that I didn't matter. And how many of us have done that? And then the next time when somebody doesn't ask us, we get all hurt and play the martyr. We're really good at being martyrs, but we've actually taught that behaviour. And so then that kind of reinforces that we're not worthy, therefore we show less compassion to ourselves. And so I'm really grateful for my daughter for pointing that out to me at such a young age. And I think this is, Casey said she's guilty. So, we need to show compassion to ourselves, if for no other reason that we need to have, be teaching our children good habits because we don't want them to think that the world revolves around them and then they pass that on to someone else, or then when they become an adult, they have to self-sacrifice to that extent. So that was really powerful for me. And I think that, that can be a real difficult one for people to break through. But again, this is what I love with using our oils and tapping into people like Nicole to help shift those whatever it is you do, I don't know, but I love it and it's amazing. But, I love tapping into my oils like, bergamot, which will, just helps to build self-assurance, and geranium, which is all about love and trust. And I thought this might be an ideal time. And Melissa and Jenny, we're going to do some cards for you shortly. Melissa, I know you didn't ask, but you put in there that things are going. I'm just going to read back what you said, Melissa. Complete exhaustion and unsure. So yeah, we're gonna help you with that. But this blend. Nicole and I were talking the other day, and it's really amazing. And Nicole, you mentioned surrounding yourself with people who lift you up. So thank you for being in my circle and lifting me up. We had a lovely conversation the other day, and we were talking about sharing today's session, and it was just really interesting. You mentioned an oil, and I thought of an oil, and basically this is a blend that I came up with.
Cool.
So this is called Sense of Compassion, and we have clove. Did you mention clove? And
I did.
It really struck a note with me.
Yes.
And clove is really good about setting boundaries, and it's about, so often we are betraying ourselves because we have not decided what are our boundaries, what we're going to allow in, what we're going to allow out, who we're going to allow in, who we're going to keep out. So, I thought clove was really important in there. And I think clove is also really good for helping us find that voice that you talk about, Nicole, that voice to say, and I actually want you all to do this. We could just practice together. It's like you get your mouth, free it up, and practice saying no. Can we all do that? No.
It's the hardest words to say.
Isn't it? And then this is what generally happens. We go, no, but I'm so sorry, blah, 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 blah. We do not have to justify, do we, Nicole?
No.
And you know how I do that? I go, no, thank you so much. Or it's like the telemarketers. They ring me up to offer me something, and I'll go, no, that's not for me, but thank you so much for offering it to me. I feel good. I'm sure they're madly scrambling through their book trying to find where the response is to that, but they don't find it. But anyway, so clove is a really powerful one. And then Litsi. Litsy's kind of lighting up my world at the moment, and Litsi is all about manifestation. So I thought, when we need to show compassion, I was kind of going in different kind of areas with this. Litsy's about feeling aligned. So when we're aligned with our truth, as Nicole talks about, when we're aligned with the path that we believe we want to take, when we're aligned with our boundaries. So I think Litsi will really support us there. What else have I got in here? And I've got geranium. So geranium is about trust and love, and particularly about showing love to ourselves. And trusting that, so often we're harboring that past gunk, technical term, gunk. We're harboring it, and it's kind of, all murky and yucky. And then we think that's going to keep happening. And so we build bigger walls. We build big, you might have to take over. I'm starting to speak Swahili. We build bigger walls around us. You can see I'm getting passionate here. And so geranium is about helping us to love ourselves, to trust that inner voice that Nicole talks about, and to believe that love is out there for us and that we can give love freely. And so when I combine those, so we've got the clove, Litsi, wild orange and geranium, and then the little affirmation I came up with, because I like to aromatically anchor, because, guys, this is really powerful. When you put that blend on, if you're going to use your personal diffusers, you put it in your hand, palm of your hand, breathe in, and as you're breathing in, this is what I say to myself: I am a worthy child of the universe. I deserve to love and to give love, to be loved. I deserve to love and to be loved, because I want it to go out and in. And I know I'm worthy. And as a worthy child of the universe, I believe that we live in love, and that all there is love. So that's my little blend. What do you think about that, Nicole?
I think that sounds lovely. I mean, I use the Litsi and geranium as well. And for me, Litsi is making someone, it's bringing them alive. That's how I see it. But even at the end of your affirmation, I would even add, I am grateful.
Yes, yes. Great idea. Great idea. Thank you, thank you, thank you to the universe. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And guys, this is the thing. Use your own words, because it's got to, Nicole mentioned the word authentic before, and I just love that word. And some people struggle with writing. And when I do my one-on-ones with you, it's about helping you to come up with these strategies and to help you find your own voice and to find the words. And, I'm good at writing and sharing words, but they're my words, not yours. So it's really important that you own that you actually alter it so that it feels right for you. And I just want to share something with you. This is actually, I'm recycling here. This is a little, we have a beautiful skincare range, and this is the hydrating cream that I use. And I have so many of these empty ones. I use them as my blend pots. So what I do when I'm working on creating blends, and I like to share this, guys, because this is practical information if you've got oils, is I just go into my intuition at times with what oils, and I'll put a little bit of fractionated coconut oil in the bottom. This is a tissue, by the way. And then I'll put the oils that I think in there and stir. So that's one way I do it. Prior to that, I often get them like a bunch of flowers and I circle them to kind of get a feel of how that's going to be. Other times I'll actually look up my resources to find out what are the emotional qualities of those oils and put them together. But then I make a little bit in there, and the reason I just put the tissue in there is that it soaks it all up, and I wanted to have this here as like a little mini diffuser today. But I just want to warn you, geranium is really, really strong. So when you're playing around with this, you will use less geranium, because otherwise it can just overpower. Now, what's that telling us? Love is all conquering. So let's do. Sorry, you throw in comments if you want. I'm just looking here. Melissa, shall we chat with Melissa?
Yes.
Okay, so Melissa was telling us that she is complete exhaustion. I'm so sorry to hear that, Melissa. Very unsure of your path. So while Nicole's tapping into that, I'm going to.
Yes.
Would you like to go first, Nicole?
Yeah, I would say, and at the moment your alignment is out, and your adrenals are running. You're almost in flight or flight or fright mode. Fight. That's right. And you're very anxious. Because you're in this state, it's hard for you to see any path forward. So it's a matter of just kind of stepping back within yourself. At the moment, you're leaning forward in life, searching for all these answers. But I would say to step back in life and within yourselves and trust the things that resonate with you, and you alone. You don't have to listen. You can listen to what other people say, but it's you that has to make the decision that's right for you. And it's really about calming your system down at the moment. It's a big thing. And that there's, what is it, that arbiter?
Arbor Vitae.
That's the one that's coming up for me at the moment, just to help calm your system down, and just to slow yourself down. For you, even just taking 3 breaths, even if that's not possible, even if one big breath, like draw it in and then release it all the way out and build up to more, I think we'll start getting that breath and that flow, because at the moment it's just all very dense.
I love the synchronicity, and I love the authenticity of what you do and what I do, because the card I drew for you, Melissa, is forgive, and it is the renewal blend, the renewing blend. And guess what one of the oils in that is, Nicole?
Is the Arbor Vitae.
And you know what I love about Arbor Vitae? It's a tree, but Arbor Vitae is very much about life doesn't have to be a struggle. Life doesn't have to be a struggle.
No. And we complicate things too.
Yeah. So that's one of the oils in there. And I think, Arbor Vitae trees live for hundreds of years. And then when they do fall, they lie in the forest for decades and nothing touches them. So it's like, I think that amidst whatever's going on, if we can hold true to the fact that we are being taken care of, that there is a greater power, and we kind of like activate that from the inside out, I think, it comes back to believing in ourselves. But This is one of my favorite. It comes in the emotional aromatherapy range, and it comes in a 5 ml, so you can use it in your diffuser. Or this is one of my go-to perfumes, and I just simply rub it on. And there is something about this. It just really resonates with me. It kind of is reminding me of my mother for some reason. But for you, this is all about you, Melissa, not me. So with forgive, sometimes we think forgiveness is outward. But again, we forgive others. It's compassion.
It's compassion.
Yeah, and it's freedom. It's freedom because we're releasing that burden of judgment and releasing that all what we're holding on to that just does not serve us. And so this is about giving you, some freedom and some light. And the word is written on this card. I'm not making it up. Compassion. It's just incredible.
There you go.
And so the centering thought, Melissa, I open my heart to compassion. I forgive myself and those whom I have not forgiven. And your question for yourself is, why is it so easy for me to be compassionate? So thank you, Nicole. That was really lovely. I'm just aware of the time, so I want to make sure we do cover everyone. And so Jenny's from London. How lovely. What time is it in London? It's either early or late, I'm sure. So Jenny is feeling a bit anxious because of a situation about work.
There's a lot of control around Jenny, and it's not, and she's feeling that she needs to control situations that sometimes we can't control them. It's about letting go and just going with the flow. There's a lot of male energy around her that isn't resonating or bringing out the best in her. So for her, it's calming. It's a calming one. I think of a calming one that's not coming to my mind at the moment. For me, I would probably no, that's not right. Sorry, an oil's not coming up that I know of at the moment. But there's a lot. I would say go with your heart. We get caught up in our headspace so much, and we think too much. But if we just go with our heartfelt, what is right for us, what resonates with us, we don't have to justify it because that's just the way it is. But for Jenny, it really is bringing stop trying to control situations, and because there's so much control around her at the moment that isn't suiting her purpose.
Yeah. Thank you, Nicole. And Jenny, let me know how this is going. So the card that's come up is actually Smart and Sassy. And Smart and Sassy is actually our metabolic blend. So, if you think about that, it's helping support our metabolism. It's actually helping to gently detoxify. It's supporting our sugar levels. It's supporting our us overall. But on an emotional level, it's also got grapefruit in there, which is honouring the body. So it's one about self-worth and just accepting ourselves as we are, which doesn't mean we don't have to work on ourselves. I mean, one of my favourite sayings is I'm perfectly imperfect in a constant path of improvement. I think that's a great place to be. So with this one, I fully accept myself and my body. I see my inner beauty. So whether this resonates with you or not, Jenny, you will know. But the question is, and I'm just wondering whether sometimes we have issues because we don't love ourselves enough. We don't see the worth in ourselves. And again, maybe we're not projecting that. So I don't know if this is making sense, Jenny, but why is it so easy to love myself so fully and completely? That's your card. Thanks. It does. Jenny said it's all making sense. And Melissa said, it's blown me away. Wow, so true. Dousing myself in it now. Thank you, and smelling arbor vitae. There you go, Nicole. Well done. Well done. So that's okay. So then Casey, are you guys enjoying having Nicole on here today? I know I am. Casey, now let's see what Casey said. Casey, I'm just trying to see if you've told us anything else. No. So Casey, I don't even know where Casey is from, but Casey would like some intuition, please, Nicole.
Intuition. There's actually feels like there's an alignment out of place with Casey, and it's running from her neurologically all the way down her spine. So for her, it's a shift that she needs to make, whether that's a decision, a change, whether that's just allowing something to happen instead of holding on to it. But it is an alignment that needs to happen, and it's been there for a little bit, and we've kind of put it aside, but now it's kind of saying, I need this to happen. So for her, it would be, I mean, we can work with the alignment. That's easy enough. But for her, it's about embracing the change that's going to happen with it. And I think there's some kind of a flower, a florally happy smell. It's not very technical, I'm sorry, but there's it's very florally, what I think will help her allow on an internal level the healing that she needs to make this alignment sit well and resonate within herself. So I don't know if you're going to draw up some flower. It's very florally.
I have indeed, as it turns out. Oh dear. So Casey, you have the beautiful blend of elevation. And elevation is very citrusy, uplifting. You know, we have in here, I'm just going to look if I can read on the bottle. So we've got some lavender, we've got sandalwood, we've got melissa, which is, wow, yeah, that's the oil of light. You've got osmanthus and I can't read the writing. There you go. But it's a beautiful, uplifting blend, and it is one that will support us to let go of any like lower vibrations again, and to support transformation. So it's in alignment with what you're saying, Nicole. And what does it say here? A place to elevate life to a whole new level and experience a sense of transformation creates a state of abundance and joy. How wonderful is that, Casey? And your affirmation, your centering thought. I live a life of abundance. My life is inspiring and I open my heart to experience joy. And your question, why is it so easy for me to experience joy? So guys, if you're enjoying this and you want to go deeper, just remember, we're keeping it fairly superficial here, but if you'd like to have what I like to call a sensational exploration, which is a chat with me about what's going on in your life, and then we look at some oils that will support the process. And whenever I share oils, guys, it's all about getting it to you at the best price, which is the same as what I pay. So we're all about supporting you in your holistic wellness in the best way, because part of holistic wellness is financial wellness as well. And of course, Nicole can then help you go deeper as well. Casey said that totally makes sense. Thank you so much. So that was Casey's, wasn't it? Elevation. We've got I'm just looking at the time. We've got time. Are you enjoying this, Nicole?
Oh, this is great. I'm having a lovely time.
Oh, good. Amy Lee's from Christchurch. Hello, welcome. Let's see if we can get you. Kerry, I've got Kerry. Did I have Kerry? I just amaze myself at my technologically wizardry here as I can look at a chat. I'm doing two things at once. It's amazing.
Multitasker.
Kerry, I'm not sure if you're asking, but I think you are. So you said you've got family concerns. So I'm not sure where Kerry is from, but she liked our ideas. And yeah, I'll just let Nicole tap into that.
Yes. There's a lot of around your heart and hurt, and it's releasing that. There's the expectations that people aren't who you would like them to be, but unfortunately they are who they are, and it's accepting them for that, whether you like it or not. Unfortunately, behaviour and their choices come down to their own free will. So for you, it's a matter of accepting them, and even though they are family or people that are close to you, it's letting go of what you would like them to be in your life and accepting what they are. because sometimes things are just as they are. You can't mess with it. You just can't change other people's free will. They will do as they please, regardless of how it may impact you. It's a big thing for you to accept that, they are who they are.
Thanks, Nicole. And your card, Kerry, is... Sorry, I'm looking at my list because I try and write everyone down so I don't miss them, and then I think, oh my gosh, I hope I'm not talking to the wrong person. Kerry, your card is another one of our beautiful emotional blends called Cheer, and it's quite interesting with what you were saying there, Nicole, because this is very much about letting go of any sort of heavy-heartedness and just bringing that lightness. And again, that word I love so much, bringing some joy back, and it's helping you, Kerry, to lighten up and to find joy in this journey. I think I love what you said, Nicole, about when we, it is them. We can't always change others, but we can change our response
Yes.
to others. Yeah. And that's really empowering, I think, Kerry. I hope you see that as empowering. And your centering thought is, I allow myself the space to create joy and to find ways to have fun and experience laughter. I love to laugh. Do you like to laugh, Nicole?
All the time.
I just think, who else likes to laugh? I think we need to. I actually, I like to find things that are funny, not stupid funny or crude funny. I like clever humour, and I love to have a good belly laugh. I just find it is one of the greatest ways to let go of all of that stuff that's holding us back, guys. But anyway, Kerry, your question is, why is it so easy for me to feel and give joy? Now, Jenny's just giving us some feedback. Spot on, Nicole. I try to over-control as my job could be redundancy. And Casey said, I'm working in my spiritual growth and the gifts. Beautiful, beautiful. Amy Lee, let's tap into Amy Lee from Christchurch, who's looking for some guidance.
Amy feels very lost. I don't know if she has suffered, if she's in a state of grief, or there's just some loss around her at the moment. But her heart is very heavy, and her stomach is not going so well. So for her, I would say it's finding the joy back, trusting yourself. Sometimes things have to fall apart so that they can rebuild in a way that is where you're going now. So you have to trust. You have to allow trust into your life and just follow the flow. Don't try and control it, but trust your instincts. There is a lot of light around you, but there's also this grief is very heavy. So it's just a matter of changing and making a small adjustment in your lower back, which will help lighten your stomach, which will in turn make the rest of your system feel a bit lighter. I would say if you flushing your system a little bit, whether you like celery juice or whether you like lemon or lime water, just to help flush what is sitting within you at the moment out. So that way, once your body feels lighter than you, it'll be easier for you to step forward into more light.
Beautiful, beautiful. I hope that resonated with you, Amy. The card, Amy, it's quite interesting. A lot of the emotional blends are coming up today, and the one that's come up for you is one called Passion. And Passion is the inspiring blend. And so sometimes in life we're weighed down. This might be you again, Amy. Like Amy said, I don't laugh enough, but my youngest daughter helps me with laughing. That's great. That's great. I actually, when I have friends who are going through tough times, I used to send them a joke a day by text just to, give them that bit of laughter. But Amy, with Passion, I think what happens sometimes we get weighed down, and maybe there's some creativity in you that's being stifled that you're not expressing. And I think that when we're not expressing that truth or that ability, sometimes that weighs us down. And what this is trying to do is just bring back that passion, bring back that drive for life that we know is in you. And again, that word joy. Joy is so important. Joy I just wish we could all tap into that. And some of you know my Ollie the Octopus, where you draw a circle in the middle of the page and legs off to the side, fill it up, what brings me joy, and just put those things in there. So that might be something for you to do. Amy, your centering thought is, I create deep connection and intimacy. I live a life of passion and purpose. And I do feel that you mentioned lost, I think.
Yes.
Lost. And I think often, and maybe this is Amy, if you don't have clarity about, well, why am I here? What's my purpose in life? That's a real joy killer. That's a real passion killer. So maybe you could ask yourself, why is it so easy for me to feel passion? Now, guys, I'm looking at the time ticking. This has been a blast, Nicole. I think we should do it again. Put a little comment down here if you think I should get Nicole on again if I can twist her arm. Amy says it resonates so much. You want to paint more. Oh, my friend, we need to talk, because I love Sunday. I wanted to tell you quickly about I'm part of a group on the Spiritual Events Directory who created a spiritual discovery journal. And there's lots of ads on the page on Spiritual Events Directory to look at that. There's 12 contributors giving you 12 different ways to journal. And mine is about activating your senses. And Amy, I bring in colour and drawing and everything into that. So please hop on and have a look at that. I'd love you to go onto my website, senseofempowerment.com.au, and read the blogs, have a look at the aromatic anchoring suggestions I've got. Drop me some comments if you'd like to book a session via my link in there. Otherwise, just send me a message on my Facebook page, senseofempowerment.com. And then this is how you can get hold of Nicole. So there's Nicole's details on the site. You can connect with her on Facebook. And just connect with us, guys, because it's so much nicer to go deep and when we're working with people personally, and you can share more with us, and then we can go deeper and serve you in a greater way. What else did I quickly want to tell you? One thing I just want to say about compassion, this has helped me in life, compassion and gratitude. And sometimes when people are maybe triggering certain responses within me, Again, I'm not perfect at this. I've got a lot of learning to do, but I try and see them as a child, as their inner child, because that inner child is within all of us, and we each have our own journey. So if when we see someone as a child, I believe we can be more compassionate and loving towards them. Or if humans aren't your favorite, see them as a little baby animal, a kitten, because it's so easy, a kitten's messed up all the wall, but oh, isn't he gorgeous? And I think sometimes, as much as that might sound silly, these are little tricks and things I do with myself to help me go into compassion with people, and then be grateful for all that I've been given, and the wisdom and the people like Nicole that I can tap into to get me back on track from time to time. So thank you all so much for being on here today. Nicole, any parting words of wisdom for our friends?
I would say to show yourself the compassion that you deserve, and to live your own truth. It's very important. And to just simplify life, make it easy.
Yeah, simplicity sounds wonderful. Nicole, thank you so much for being on, and thank you all for your beautiful comments. And I'm going to go back and respond to you all shortly.
But thanks, Leonie, too, for having me today.
You're very welcome. You're very welcome. And so, guys, I'll be back on at 9:30 Queensland time next Wednesday. Hope you can join me, share the word, share the love, and share lots of that compassion. Thanks, Nicole. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.